Here's what some people are saying about the Projection Booth podcast.
The Projection Booth is single-handedly the greatest film podcast you could ever listen to or could possibly want.
Top notch. 5 stars. This has quickly become one of my favorite film-related podcasts. Always interesting.
A completely unpretentious yet fully comprehensive look at films from all genres.
The Projection Booth podcast, with new episodes available every week at projectionboothpodcast.com.
You are listening to the In the Mouth of Dorkness podcast. Here are Brad, Lisa, Brian, and Darren.
Welcome to another edition of the It Modcast podcast. With me is Brian Young, the Turtle Dork.
Happy Friday, folks. Guardians was awesome.
Yep, and also joining us is Lisa Gullickson, wife Dork.
Hello. You haven't heard me all week, but here I am.
That's not true. You were a guest star on the last episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
King Kong homework.
Yeah, when everybody shat on Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
No, nobody shat on Hedwig.
I think it was a shitting by omission.
They didn't even bring it up.
The movie's so great, it should have come up again.
Someone's got some Kong, not fatigue, Kong jealousy?
Yeah, I
Kong
do.
jealousy.
Kong envy.
And also joining us is Brad Gullickson, Mouth Dork.
Hello, hello, hello! Oh.
Yep, and I'm Darren Smith, the Disco Dork, and welcome to the It Modcast podcast, Fistful Friday.
Yay!
Yay, TGIFF.
TGI Summer.
Fistful of Summer Anticipation is our mission for this evening. We will be chronicling our top 5 most anticipated films for the summer, which has already kicked off with the release of today with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
We all loved it.
Yep. Spoiler alert.
That review cast will be coming out in a few days, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be talking about that. Time travel. Fries your brain. What movie is that from?
Primer.
Looper. Dang, B, you got
It
that
was
one.
so sad when Mantis died, just the way I said she would. And it happened.
No.
I couldn't believe that Groot got even smaller.
He's
about
smaller
that?
and cuter.
And then that they aborted that baby Groot.
And then they had a 6th secret stinger with Galactus.
Oh, and then Iron Man came out into space.
Oh, son! I digress. Brian, you're number 5.
If some of that shit is true,
We're going to be fucked.
For the record, I support Groot's right to choose.
Yay.
oh, my list. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, keeping in the spirit of Marvel, my number 5 is the next Marvel Cinematic Universe movie to come out this summer, and that will be Spider-Man: Homecoming. Definitely looking forward to this film. Excuse me. We just got our introduction to this new Spider-Man of Tom Holland in Captain America: Civil War last summer. And I think this is just going to kind of extend the excitement that a lot of people have from what they saw in that film. And from the trailers that were released, seeing Tony Stark to really kind of cement that this version of the Spider-Man lives within the cinematic universe, to really get people excited about what's to come in the future. And just the simple fact that we finally have a Spider-Man that is age appropriate, and the integration of having Michael Keaton also in the MCU as Vulture. I mean, he just looks fantastic, and I don't know, it's something I'm really, really looking forward to. So yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming, that's my number 5.
It is interesting with the Vulture, based on what I have seen in the trailers, appears to be another anti-Tony Stark character. Like,
Well, yeah,
Justin Hammer, Obadiah Stane, Guy Pearce's Mandarin wannabe character.
That's something that I kind of wish, or am hoping that they maybe kind of go away from, because we've seen that a little too often in the MCU, especially when Tony Stark is involved.
Well, with the Vulture, traditionally in the comic books, while a cool-looking suit, maybe, maybe not, has not been the most epic of threats. So to make him the main villain of this story, you have to up his game. And it appears the way they're doing that is making him look like a Tony Stark reject. I'm curious. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Keaton is exciting.
Yeah, Keaton's going to bring something more to this role, I think, than what we are expecting. And just from the synopsis of what I've been hearing about who he plays and why he has this animosity towards Stark, and then also to couple that with what Tom Holland, with him having the suit taken away from him, and then having to revert back to his his makeshift suit that he has, I think is focusing more on Peter Parker than it is Spider-Man. And I don't know. There's interesting things in this story that looks to be really compelling that I'm looking forward to.
I think it's interesting that they are giving him the suit and then immediately taking it away. So we have a humbling without having to do the origin story all the way through. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty clever device.
Yeah, and you know what was so awesome about Spider-Man Civil War? I mean, Captain America Civil War. Well,
I can't wait till Spider-Man Civil War.
I mean, we saw it already. That moment where Tony visits Parker in his apartment in Queens, and the way they give his motivation of with great power comes great responsibility without using those words is really wonderful. And I'm hoping, and I'm curious to see, well, I'm hoping they continue to explore that philosophy without retelling the Uncle Ben thing again.
Well, that's what I like.
You have to nod to it, certainly, because I still want the Uncle Ben tragedy to be part of his origin. It's essential, but we have seen that told 3 or 4 times now.
But I think that's what in the newest trailer, that's what they're alluding to with the whole idea that happens.
I haven't watched the newest trailer.
Oh, well, it's not really a spoiler because it's out there. But, I mean, just everything that happens with the incident at the ferry. I think they're playing with that whole idea about great responsibility. Or
he has to relearn that lesson, it looks like. And I don't know if I love that idea, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
All right. Lisa, your number 5 most anticipated film of the summer.
With my number 5, I'm actually going a little bit more of the indie route with a little film called The Big Sick, coming out on June 23rd.
That does not sound like a Lisa kind of movie.
I know, and I will be peeking at this film through my fingers, but I have the inside scoop that the sick one spends a lot of time in a coma. So coma is V-free. Yeah. That is the safest of all illnesses, except for maybe when you wake up. I don't know. I confuse when it's a Firefly moment when River wakes up. Yeah. Anyway,
that's not going to happen here.
I'm working on my comophobia as we speak. I'm drumming one up. So this film is written by Kumail Nanjiani and Emily Gordon. And you guys have heard me speak a lot about Kumail Nanjiani. He is one of my favorite comedians. And he has been working since the beginning of his career with his wife. She started out kind of doing stage managing and I think booking for his Meltdown show. And she started showing up on podcasts, and then they had a podcast together for a while about video games called The Indoor Kids. And they both now have these personalities that work so well separate and together. But this script came from a true experience. This is an autobiographical film that I've heard the story told on various interview podcasts whenever they're getting the background of either Kumail or Emily. This was clearly a turning point in their relationship and their lives.
I would think so.
So,
don't fall in a coma, Lisa.
So what happened was when Kumail and Emily were just dating, Emily started getting this weird illness. I forget the details of the actual illness, but the doctors ended up having to put her into a medically induced coma until this, whatever the illness was, got resolved. And during that time, Kumail is just the boyfriend, but now he finds himself evaluating what this unconscious woman means to him, and he's having to interact with her extremely white Midwestern parents, and you know, he is a Muslim from Pakistan, and you know, his family doesn't know about her, certainly, and it's all very complicated, but I think something that a lot of people are going to be able to identify with and see parts of their own story in. I'm excited. Kumail is playing himself. Emily is being played by Zoe Kazan, whom I'm not sure who that is. We looked it up before, but I've lost interest. But I'm really excited. The casting of Emily's parents are like dream parents. Who wouldn't want Ray Romano and Holly Hunter as your parents?
And I hear really great things about Holly Hunter in particular in this film. And, you know, I just love to love her. So I'm looking forward to it. There is some cameos of other stand-ups that I really enjoy. Kurt Braunohler, who has the KO podcast, and it's just a general funny dude. His album How Do I Land is like a fucking riot. It's so good. He's in the film. Bo Burnham, who is like a musical comedian, also very funny, is in this film. It's directed by Michael Showalter, who we most recently saw his film Hello, My Name is Doris, which had its charms. I found really funny. He also did Wet Hot American Summer. He was a writer, and he is also Coop, and he was also a member of the State. So it's guaranteed to be pretty funny. And just on a weird side note, I love that all of these stand-up comedians who I've been admiring and following for all of these years are showing up in films and making their fucking dreams come true. Brad and I just saw Slight. You probably heard it in his Weekend Dork.
Yeah.
But I was watching it, and I was like, shit. Luna is Cameron Esposito, another comedian whom I love. Her special Marriage Material, I believe, is on Netflix.
I talked about that already on our Weekend Dork, Lisa, and I messed it all up, and I felt so bad.
Oh, no! Good thing I'll never listen. Why listen to the episodes I'm not on? Honestly, people.
Zoe Kazan, by the way, Darren, is the mom from The Monster. She was the young mother terrorized by the creature on the side of the road.
I'm interested in seeing her in this. I liked her in the Monster.
I would love for a Hollywood, like, what kind of up-and-coming Hollywood star would play your wife in a film, Brad?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, nice. I'm flattered.
Slap a wig on, sir. You're playing Lisa.
Yes.
He's got the charisma. I'll give you that.
What do you think about dick tips?
And he's doing his own love scenes, huh? Yeah.
I'm okay with Scientology now.
That's how they convert you, I think. It's a dick tip thing.
All right. Brad, your number 5.
Well, based on my last few comments, you should not be surprised to learn that my number 5 is Tom Cruise's The Mummy.
Yeah.
I'm crazy excited about this film and what it potentially could lead to. A universal monsters shared universe.
Exciting.
I know what you're thinking. You're tired of shared universes. Shut the fuck up!
Wow.
Get out of my house! I am excited.
Yeah.
Not only do we get The Mummy, played by Sophia Boutella from Kingsman and Star Trek Beyond, and Atomic Blonde, also out this summer. But we get Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and maybe a tag with Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man, and Javier Bardem as Frankenstein's monster or the monster. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
Huge, big talent. This is not, Dracula Rising with Luke Evans. As much as I like that dude, announcing this series with Tom Cruise, that is a confidence or a desperate plea that this movie is going to happen and this universe is going to be great.
So are they scrapping the Luke Evans Dracula?
Oh, that has nothing to do with this one.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that movie was terrible, Darren.
I know, but they set it up. I mean, they set it up to be part of it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they did it.
Oh, man.
I'm hoping we learn that Tom Cruise is like a long-lost descendant of Van Helsing. That's my dream.
That's what I think.
What I heard.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
That'd be cool. All right. My number 5, like the Turtle Dork, is also Spider-Man: Homecoming. I like the Turtle Dork. I'm really digging Tom Holland as that character. Did you all see his recent Dub Smash
yes,
thing?
he's adorable.
Yeah.
He cannot lose.
How can you not want to see Tom
cannot
Holland
win.
now after
no,
that?
wait, I was right the first time. He cannot lose.
Yeah. And so after recently seeing him also in Lost City of Zed, right? I said that right.
Yeah.
I said it right this time.
That's
Zed.
right. It's spelled with the letter Z. It means Zed.
Yes. And
English.
I saw him in that, and he was very good. And so I immediately was like, I can't wait to see him as Peter Parker. That's all I kept thinking once, every time he would pop up on the screen. And so
whenever he'd pop up on the screen, I was like, what's Spider-Man doing in this movie? Get off the screen, Spider-Man.
in the jungle, yeah. He's a very good actor, I think.
Looking for Kraven the Hunter.
There is definitely some shit that will bite you in that jungle that will turn you into shit you
something,
do not like.
Yeah. Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'm digging Michael Keaton. I've said it before in the podcast. I really love the Vulture's his design, his helmet, those wings that were in the. I haven't seen the most recent trailer. Oh yes, I did. But I love his wingspan and just I don't know like the claws on his feet. Were those claws when he came down to the camera? Yeah, I really dig that, and I like the high school setting. Tom Holland feels more like a high schooler than Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. And so
I felt like Andrew Garfield felt like a teenager
for like a hot minute.
I dig Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, but I dig Tom Holland even more.
I think Tom Holland is like the happy medium because I felt like
Toby.
Toby was way too old.
Yeah.
Clearly, I thought Andrew Garfield was way too awkward, and I think that Tom Holland is just the perfect. He's handsome. I have always found Andrew Garfield kind of very tweeny bopper looking, very not. I don't know.
But Tom Holland you approve of.
Yes.
This boy.
Yes.
This child.
To be Spider-Man, I'm not saying I want to hold his hand or anything.
Good.
Maybe under the bleachers.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tom Holland. I'm not married, so I can say I really like Tom Holland more than Andrew Garfield, the boy. But yeah, I'm digging it, and I love Cop Car. And the director of that film is the one who's helming Spider-Man: Homecoming, which, if you haven't seen that, you need to watch that. It's a very good film. It has a really good performance by Kevin Bacon and Shea Wingham. And the two kids in the film who lead the film are amazing. It's just a really good film. And
that's what I'm excited about. Homecoming is the supporting cast.
Yeah.
Yes, Tom Holland looks like a teenager, but so do all those other kids.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's what Spider-Man should be. Spider-Man should have lockers and gymnasiums and homecoming dances and vultures.
Yeah, I'm interested to see those kids reacting to the circumstances that will follow someone like Peter Parker and the things that are inherent in someone who lives that life of a high schooler / superhero. And I'm interested to see him play off of his surrounding castmates. So that has me excited. So that's my number 5, Homecoming. Brian, your number 4.
So my number 4 is
Last Night.
The new never
Baywatch.
No, close.
No.
Rough Night.
Not really. No.
Snatch.
No.
Girls Trip.
It's your booty hole.
Stop that with that. No, this is the new film by Catherine Bigelow. Detroit.
That is very close to Baywatch.
It's very close to Baywatch. Yeah, so Detroit. This trailer dropped recently, and it floored me. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Now, I will say, just my ignorance on this, I didn't know too much about the riots in Detroit, so I did a little bit of research, and I did this. If you go to the YouTube channel, on my trailer reaction as well. But this is the 1967 Detroit riots that happened July 23rd, 1967. There was a police raid that they did on an unlicensed after-hours spot. And it kind of spilled. It was a raid that kind of spilled over into the streets, and it just kind of erupted, and it lasted for, I believe, 5 days. Now, in the trailer, it looks like there was a different inciting incident from the raid. Now, I do want to give a shout out to one of the commenters on my video, someone named Kiana Davis. She says that in the movie, there was a something that happened. The story is more about the Algiers motel shooting that happened during the Detroit riots. And so there were 2 police raids. So I'm assuming that this movie is probably focusing more so on that. But it's probably going to be encompassing everything that happened on that day, probably with the police raid of the bar and the Algiers motel shooting. But what we saw in the trailer and from the cast that we got, from Jason Mitchell to Will Poulter and, of course, John Boyega, it's just a it's a very strong, talented, young cast, and to see them all together, I think, is going to be absolutely fantastic under the helm of Catherine Bigelow, who I absolutely enjoyed her last film, which was Zero Dark 30. And she just really does a great job of these real life event stories and really bring the humanistic aspect of it. I definitely encourage people to go check out Zero Dark 30. And goodness, the lead actress, her name is losing me right now. Jessica Chastain, I thought was really, really good.
I gotta go back and rewatch that. I haven't seen that since like it first came out.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like with Catherine Bigelow at the helm, she can bring that type of sensibility to Detroit, and just with this type of story, it just makes me want to know more. So I'm completely in on this movie. So Detroit, that's my number 4.
Wife Dork, your number 4.
My number 4 is Baby Driver, coming out 6/28.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
28? The 28th? That's
No.
after Comic-Con. Wait, is it
No,
June?
that's June.
June.
Oh, June, not July?
20.
Oh, shit. Soon. I'm so, yes, excited. Okay, sorry.
It is written and directed by Edgar Wright.
Yay.
We know that those of us in the Dork Cave, we are huge fans of the Cornetto trilogy and Scott Pilgrim, and we can hardly go a festival without mentioning at least one of his films. So from the trailer, it looks like a fairly typical One Last Job film, but it is guaranteed to have that Edgar Wright twist.
Yes.
It's going to be hip, it's going to be dynamic and funny. It's going to be musical.
I mean, that's what I hear, is it's practically an action musical.
I'm so
It's
stoked.
wall-to-wall song.
How awesome would it be if they were singing their dialogue?
That's not going to happen, Darren.
Man, there should be like a director's cut where they just sing the dialogue.
It's got an amazing cast, though. I don't know so much about this young kid, Ansel Elgort. How do you say it, Brian?
Ansel Elgort.
Ansel.
Silence T. How fancy.
I don't know much about him, but John Barenthal, we're huge fans here on the cast. We just saw him in Sweet Virginia, which played at the Tribeca Festival.
Mm-hmm.
It's got, Kevin Spacey, can't go wrong. Jamie Foxx, John Hamm,
Flea?
Yeah, Flea.
Yeah.
Flea.
Flea is always a stamp of excellence in a film.
Hey, Big Lebowski.
Yeah, he only shows up in the best.
McFly.
You go.
My only reservation is that the 2 main characters seem so young. They really do look like kids
Babies.
in this film to me.
But it could be that we're just getting so old, Lisa.
Possibly.
Or they could be those type of people who are young, but they're not young, but they look younger than they actually are.
I think movies are just not going to be about us anymore.
Probably not.
We've aged out.
I think so.
We are not the...
They're not making movies for us anymore.
Yeah. We've aged out the
We have
demographic.
we have to go watch
Meryl Streep is making movies for us.
Yeah, that's it.
we have to go. We got to go watch The Queen.
Yeah.
Ricky and the Flash speaks to me. It does.
Oh. Well, look. At least Baby Driver looks like it'll be more fun than Ricky and the Flash or a Mel
I
Gibson
loved
film.
Ricky and the Flash. Shut your mouth.
You think Edgar Wright's film won't be better than Ricky and the Flash?
I'm just saying don't shit on Ricky.
I'm not. I'm just saying this would be more fun.
I don't know. Ricky and the Flash was pretty fun.
Okay, now I gotta watch Ricky and the Flash. I need to compare.
I know.
It had what's Rick Springfield in it. This is guaranteed not to have
shit.
Rick
And
Springfield
Yeah,
in it.
again,
true.
if you go back to our Week in Dork where we talked about Jonathan Demme, it had a real eye behind that movie.
Oh,
so.
he did direct that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Jonathan
Were you not
Demme versus
listening during my Week in
Edgar
Dork?
Wright. That was like that was a week
I
ago.
know.
It was a week ago, Brad.
Darren's memory is not that great.
Yeah, sorry. All right, well, I'm looking forward to Baby Driver 2. Is there a new trailer out for that one? Or they just have that one that starts out with the record player
I've only
coming
seen
down?
the one.
Yeah.
I like the record one.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
like the
that's
other
it.
one.
Oh, so there's another one?
No. They kind
There's
of like
the
a 1
international
minute
one, and then there's
Ah.
the American one.
Gotcha.
I like the American one.
All right,
True
I do
Blue.
too. All right, Brad, your number cuatro.
My number cuatro is Sofia Coppola's The Beguiled.
Oh, nice.
The remake of the Don Siegel film about a Union soldier who falls under the watchful care of some Southern belles down south. The boarding school run by Nicole Kidman in this new film. It's also going to have Kirsten Dunst in it and Elle Fanning, and he's going to take a fancy to one of them.
The girl from Southpaw is in it too.
Yep. And things are not going to go well for Colin Farrell. I'm really excited because the Don Siegel movie is an ugly, brutal, heinous experience. And I'm curious how Sofia Coppola will filter that story through her lens. And she is, partnering with a really amazing cinematographer, Philippa Lesord, who did The Grand Master for Wong Kar-wai.
Oh, shit.
So it's going to look absolutely gorgeous.
Wow.
And, it just became a little more interesting to you.
No
didn't
shit.
it?
Seriously, yeah, because The Grandmaster is a gorgeous film. It's a good film, period, but it looks gorgeous. Wow, okay.
So, yeah, The Beguiled. I'm very, very curious.
I saw the trailer for that most recently when I went to see The Circle, and it looks scary. It feels like I don't know. It looks really scary. I didn't know that was a boarding house. At first, I thought that Nicole Kidman was the mom, but then now it makes sense because she doesn't look that old. Nicole Kidman looks good.
Yeah, she's good for her age.
She looks good for her age. Kirsten Dunst looks good in it, and I'm really becoming a huge fan of Elle Fanning. She was Neon Demon the most recent thing that she was in?
Thanks.
No, she was in American Pastoral, which
seen
came
that.
out late last year as well.
So I'm looking forward to the
I
Beguiled,
feel like
though.
she and Michael Pitt have the same face.
Wait, what?
Who, Elle Fanning?
Yeah.
We did at least the Michael Pitt from Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
I gotta
Same
Google
face.
Michael Pitt now. All right.
Face replace.
Darren, what's your number 4? Shit, Lisa threw me off. I gotta Google Michael Pitt real quick. My number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
That came out yesterday. How can you anticipate something that came out yesterday?
Fuck. Oh shit.
You didn't really
Smoke
see
and
it.
mirrors, people. Smoke and mirrors.
All right, stop. Okay, so yeah, I know it came out yesterday, but I mean, within the context of the films that I'm most looking forward to,
the past.
Yeah, this is number 4. If I were to put a list together, before this would be number 4.
Now, having seen it, it's your still number 3?
Well, yeah, because I kind of have to leave it here because I haven't seen the other films on my list yet. After I've seen those films, then I'll see if it's rightfully in the correct place.
Pedaling.
But anyway, yeah, I was looking forward to rejoining the gang, and because the first film really set itself apart from the rest of the MCU, from just the distinction of its color palette. The location. Yes, we have an opening scene on Earth, but then after that, we're off-world into a different part of the universe and exploring different characters. And as much as I love Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark and Chris Hemsworth's Thor and Mark Ruffalo's Banner in the Hulk and everyone else that we've grown accustomed to in the previous films, it felt like a nice little detour to go and join and meet a new group of superheroes, excuse me, and not superheroes in your typical sense. And so I was very much looking forward to, ever since the end of the last one, I was looking forward to rejoining this film. And James Gunn does not disappoint. And so, I just, seeing the early footage in San Diego when we went to Comic-Con really set the bar for me as far as my excitement level. And the scene that they showed there just prepped me for what was in store. It felt like, we had a similar tone to the previous film, but we're seeing different set pieces and a new, and the action, and that was our first introduction to Baby Groot, and knowing at that point that when the rest of the world sees Baby Groot, they're going to fall in love with the character, and rightfully so. So, yeah, I mean, if you've seen the first Guardians, and if you've watched any of the trailers, and if you haven't seen the new movie yet, I mean, it's no surprise that it would be on anyone's top 5 list for anticipation of this summer season. And I guess it officially kicks off the summer movie months if you don't count Fast 8. Brian, do you want to count Fast 8?
As what, a summer movie?
Yeah.
No.
All right. So, yeah, that's my number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Good save! Brian, your number 3.
So my number 3, I'm going to follow suit, same with Lisa. My number 3 is Baby Driver.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a pair of
So, yeah, I'm actually looking really forward to this film. Yeah, the cast is absolutely fantastic, but this movie really just kind of falls on the shoulders of Edgar Wright. Edgar Wright is just absolutely fantastic. The movie, and it's like one of my favorite like comfort movies. Scott Pilgrim. I'm just drawing blanks tonight. I'm sorry.
I love Scott Pilgrim.
Been recording for 7 hours.
Knives Chow is in The Circle. She has a very small role. She was also in The Void recently, that low-budget horror film, indie horror film.
Oh, okay.
But she's also in The Circle.
Yeah, she was great in Scott Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just seeing like the way Edgar Wright's style has evolved. Now, I haven't watched his show Spaced before, but from the
you haven't seen Spaced.
I haven't seen that.
Mod homework.
Is that too much?
No, it's only a season of television. He can watch
And it's
it
a
days
British
week.
season,
It's
so
only
it's
one
like
season?
8 episodes or
Oh
something.
yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah, he can do that because this week he's watching Game of Thrones.
Got it right here. Yes. Yeah.
That's some off-air talk for you listeners.
There you go. But yeah, I love seeing he has a very distinctive creative style, and seeing the way his style has evolved from the Cornetto trilogy through Scott Pilgrim, and in this movie it seems like he's really firing on all cylinders, and the cast is just absolutely, I mean, John Bernthal, I got a man crush on that dude. He's fucking awesome. I love John, and he's a Wizards fan. He's
Really? We like Gandalf?
That's so
he loves
random.
Gandalf?
No, he's a Washington Wizards basketball NBA fan. Brad, sports talk.
And a Hufflepuff. You wouldn't think it.
So yeah,
You're firing on all cylinders. Was that a car pun since this movie?
Oh, yes, that was.
Wow.
That was scripted.
Very much so. So yeah, that's my number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, there we
Tres.
go.
All right,
Tres.
Lisa, your
Yes.
number 2.
My number 2 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yay!
Luckily, we got all of our hip indie film watching done at last weekend, so now all of the rest of my films are all of the big budge films.
Mainstream.
That
Yeah.
is true. Like a bunch of the films that we saw at last weekend earlier in this year are making their premiere this summer. Like Crazy is coming out on the 5th of this month. The Commune is on the 19th. I, Daniel Blake is on the 2nd of June. And The Bad Batch, my favorite, Miami Man, June 23rd.
Nice.
So now I can eat the popcorn while I watch the movie because I don't have to hear all the dialogue of this stuff. So we've already talked a lot about Spider-Man Homecoming. It has already been mentioned. We're all deeply, deeply in love with Tom Holland. We'll all
Yay.
take turns holding his hand.
Oh,
Whoa, okay.
The trailers have been great. And the footage promises the high school melodrama that I fell in love with reading the Brian Michael Bendis run of Ultimate Spider-Man. So good. I never cried so hard at a comic book as when Peter Parker died. And it took me a long time to get on board with Miles Morales.
It took you like a year before you would pick up the Miles Morales run.
Yeah, and I wore all black, and I don't know, other things. A hat. There was some kind of.
Veil situation.
I listened to The Cure. I
You were
think.
like the mom from Jaws. You slapped Roy Scheider right
Right in
across
the
his
kiss,
face.
Lisa, you weren't here for our Slight cast. You were missed when we, well, not Slight cast, but when we talked about Slight on our Weekend Dork. And I had mentioned that when I was watching Jacob Lattimore play as Bo, I just kept thinking somebody cast that dude as Miles
That
Morales
would be
in the lines.
That would be
Live action.
great.
Yes, I just need.
Except for he's actually a little too old because Miles Morales is technically like a
Middle
middle
school.
school age, which I think is pretty special.
Can he do the thing where grown-ups and like 30-year-olds play like high school students?
I thought that's why we like Tom Holland because he
Yeah.
didn't look,
Like Tobey Maguire.
Isn't he Tom Holland like 31?
What?
No,
Yeah.
no.
He's actually a teenager.
A
For real?
A real deal one.
Yeah.
That's weird. He shouldn't be working.
Wait, what? Why?
Shouldn't be at school. Doesn't he have some
Who's a teenager?
Tom Holland.
No.
books to hit?
He's a teenager.
In real life?
Yeah.
No, he's 20.
What?
That's a teenager.
I thought 19
To
was a teenager.
40-year-olds,
Why are you so intent on his exact age?
because he's legal.
Let me have my fantasy.
What? I mean, he looks like a teenager, but he's technically not a teenager.
He was born in June 1st, 1996, guys.
People join.
Yeah, he's
you know,
about to be
he should not
21.
be allowed to be out at that young.
No, but then he wouldn't be Peter Parker in Spider-Man Homecoming,
I
and it
suppose
wouldn't be
you're
your
right.
number 2.
That's right. It is. No, it's my number 3.
Number 3.
I want to get this episode over with too.
All right,
That is my
Brett,
number 3.
your number 3.
My number 3 is Matt Reeves' War for the Planet of the Apes. As we talked on on Brian's Itmod homework episode of King Kong. I love monkeys and apes.
There you go.
And I've loved the Planet of the Apes series for a long, long time. I like every single one of them. The original, Beneath, Escape, Conquest. Yes, even Battle, even Rise. But
Even Tim Burton's?
no, I do not acknowledge its existence.
Wow.
Although Rick Baker's makeup in the Tim Burton.
I want to see the Tim Robbins one.
Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes makeup is awesome.
Yeah.
Only if it's directed by Tim Robbins from High Fidelity. Lots of world music and incense burning in it.
Dead Man Walking Tim Robbins.
Yeah.
Or Tape Heads Tim Robbins.
What?
Whoa. We've been recording far too long. We must keep this on track. War for the Planet of the Apes, Matt Reeves, what he did with Dawn, what Andy Serkis did with Dawn. I think they really upped their game in the sequel.
Yeah.
Now we're a few years later. Shit's gone downhill big time for humanity. Woody Harrelson, he's the Colonel. He's the last bastion of the human race, and he is going to take down these dirty, dirty, damn apes.
Is this character in one of the previous films?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm really, 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 really excited. I think it's going to get pretty darn dark.
Yeah. Feels that way.
Yep. Excited. So yeah. War for the Planet of the Apes.
All
That
right.
for
What
is very
is
important.
it good for? Absolutely nothing.
You say it again. Except it's great for killing monkeys and apes.
And apes.
All right. My number 3 is Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets, or is it the Planet
No,
of a
that's
Thousand
right.
Cities?
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. Don't question yourself, man.
Gotcha.
Go for it.
This is Luc Besson's latest film, and it looks like he's going back to his Fifth Element wheelhouse
Yep.
playbook for some really whimsical, wacky-looking science fiction, and I could not be more pleased. Just recently watching the new trailer, one thing that stuck out to me this time, because I've seen that trailer like dozens of times now, excuse me, and that it's a really good trailer in that it doesn't give anything away about the story, but it does show you a lot of the world and some of the characters in the film. But still, having been sitting on that panel in Comic-Con when they showed a lot of production art and behind the scenes stuff of the making of that film, and even that sizzle reel that shows some footage, there's a lot that still hasn't been shown to the public in these trailers, and I really like that about the film. So there's this air of mystery, but there is enough in that trailer to get you enticed to go see the movie if you're into that sort of thing. And so while Dane DeHaan is not one of my favorite actors, I have become to warm up to him immensely.
Thanks to A Cure for Wellness, which you loved like I did.
I really enjoyed him in that. I liked him the most in Chronicle. Like I really liked his work in Chronicle. I got to go back and rewatch that film. I haven't seen it in a while. But I enjoyed Dane DeHaan. I like Cara Delevingne. I've only seen her in Suicide Squad. Like, what else has she done?
She did Paper Towns. They also came out last summer, but I think that was
didn't
it.
see
She was a
that.
model before that, I think.
Yeah, so I like her in the trailer and the stuff that they shown at Comic-Con. So I'm very excited. I'm just looking forward to some new and fresh science fiction. Seeing that trailer on the big screen and all the colors and the different creature and alien designs in that film and the production art that Luc Besson showed off at Comic-Con is what had me excited the most because my imagination, and it looks like the production designers creativity and imagination just went wild on the inhabitants of these worlds and these different planets and stuff like that. And so, I'm always up for seeing something science fiction wise that I've never seen before on screen because, things can get kind of stale. The xenomorph and the predator only come around once in a lifetime, and then everything after that is either, a ripoff or, an homage to it or something. But to see something truly new and unique is very exciting to me. So I can't wait. I like Luc Besson. I don't love all of his films, but when he is on his A game, he is really entertaining as a director and a filmmaker. So, and it looks like Valerian is going to be fun. So at the very least, in the summertime months, with a popcorn movie, I can have some fun in the theater. So that's my number 3. Brian, your number 2.
So my number 2 is the female John Wick, a.k.a. Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde. I'm very much looking forward to this film a lot. The trailer really got me. Absolutely fantastic the way this was cut together, the way the use of music. It really sold me on this film. The irreverent humor that it shows in there. The cast is absolutely fantastic. Sophia Boutella, of course, Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, John Goodman, Toby Jones. Absolutely great. So, and then just seeing what these directors, David Leitch and Chad Stahelski, have been able to do with their company, 1187, with a lot of their stunt work and action choreography from John Wick and what Stahelski did in John Wick 2. And now David Leitch, him doing this going into Deadpool 2, I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to do in his solo outing as a director with this film. It feels like they're kind of still progressing in the same direction of what they kind of started with the John Wick franchise as far as with action choreography and stunt work. And it just looks absolutely like just a great fun time at the theater. So yeah, Atomic Blonde, that's my number 2.
All right, Lisa, your number 2.
My number 2 is a spin on a classic story, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, coming out 5/12. Ooh, the near future.
Yes.
It's Guy Ritchie giving the King Arthur story the Sherlock treatment and then some.
Yep.
It seems like he's going back to his lock, stock, snatchy roots, that's unsturdy. I'm hoping that he leans in and keeps using, like, because it had that Led Zeppelin trailer. I hope that he goes back and uses more like classic rock, pop culture infused music in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I love the crazy style action with the frenetic snappy cuts and zooms and everybody looking all greasy and fighting and stuff. Charlie Hunnam, I think, makes a badass King Arthur. So, bitch, Guinevere, get out the way. I'm stoked. And Jude Law has aged into a regal villain, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So evil.
I'm so happy to see that they are embracing the supernatural elements of this story, not doing the Antoine Fuqua route and getting real, but actually just doing Excalibur and giant elephants and
I wonder
dragons.
if it'll have my character in it. You guys know I was in a what is it called? Community theater production of Camelot. I played Nimue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have magic powers?
I did. I lured Merlin into the netherworld.
Ooh.
Not the netherworld, just death, I think.
Oh. Well, hopefully they have that.
Those snatchy roots is what you learned.
That's what I used. That was my magic power.
All right.
My sweet, sweet snatchy roots.
Brad,
That's going to be the name of my first band.
Snatchy Roots.
Snatchy Roots.
All right. Brad, your number 2.
My number 2 is Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Patty Jenkins, director, written by Alan Heinberg, who has written for Wonder Woman in the comics in the past. Also did one of my favorite runs of Young Avengers, showrunner of the OC. I dig this dude's writing. I think he has a handle of the character. I think Patty Jenkins, just based on the trailer, looks like she is shooting the hell out of this movie. It is gorgeous looking. Gal Gadot, I remember when they cast her, I thought, I don't know if she's the right build and blah, blah, blah. I saw BVS. She's the highlight of that film. She rocks. And yeah, I just want to... I want a Wonder Woman film to kick ass and succeed and become just as iconic in the mainstream culture as Batman and Superman.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree so much that Wonder Woman is also my number 2 most anticipated film of the summer.
Hey, man.
I got a hype
Don't
man.
take me to the woods like Key and Peele, though.
Look over there. I'm very much looking forward to Wonder Woman. Seeing the footage at Comic-Con from all the way from the announcement of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I was excited, and the final trailer coming out and seeing her and how, like you said, how Patty Jenkins is shooting that, like all of the footage from Themyscira and just how they are depicting the Amazonian tribes on screen. It's just something fresh and unique that within the comic book world that I'm ready for. And I think that it's a shame that WB is not promoting Wonder Woman more than they are. When you look at how much they were promoting Suicide Squad before that movie came out, like everywhere you look, there was Suicide Squad merchandise, there was Suicide Squad commercials, little videos and things like that, character profiles and stuff. But with Wonder Woman, there's only the trailers. There's no bombardment of that. And you would think that with the first big screen iteration of this character live action, they would treat it like the big deal that it is. I mean, it is a really big deal in this age of, especially when we get to this point where feminism is something that is being pushed and progressed and embraced more openly than before. In this regard, like I feel like they're just dropping the ball. Like I just think that, with this character and you introducing her, like you said, Brad, in BVS, in a male dominant subgenre, and you're trying to put her up to be able to have her carry her own film, I would think that you would promote it more, because again, we've had how many Batman movies, we've had how many Superman movies, but we've never had a Wonder Woman film. So this film should be promoted and lauded for more than one reason. And I think that I just wish and hope that the film's success doesn't suffer because of the lack of promotion and awareness, because Wonder Woman is just as recognizable as Spider-Man worldwide as a character. People may have never read a comic book, but who Wonder Woman is and what she stands for. And I think that it would do well for them to start promoting the film more, because we're only a month or so out from the movie.
We're exactly a month away. It comes out on June 1st.
And
we are, as of this recording, 32 days, 2 hours, and 21 minutes, and 8 seconds away from
there's
it.
only been 2 trailers. Thank you, and that's it. And so I don't know. I just hope that the movie is very successful, so that this character can go on to have an on-screen legacy comparable to the Dark Knight and the Man of Steel, because she deserves it. And like my daughter deserves to see that. And the world over, men and women deserve to see Wonder Woman on the big screen and succeed. So that's my number 2, and I hope it is successful, and I hope it's number 1 at the box office. So yeah. Brian, your number 1 film, most anticipated of the summer, Transformers: The Last Night.
Okay, we talked about this before. You have to stop mentioning that movie.
Oh, it's a spoiler. I would have to let you mention it
in my presence. Please
I'll edit that part out so you can say it. Reveal it. Go.
My number 1 film is Transformers. No. My number 1 film is War for the Planet of the Apes. This would be Matt Reeves' culmination of Caesar's story, of his arc that we see in this movie. I've talked about it before, that I love the fact that Matt Reeves chooses to focus on substance and character. In the summer season, where we get a lot of style and spectacle. And granted, he definitely brings the action, and he brings the big budget.
And the visuals.
And the visuals that we come to expect during the summer. But what we've got with the last two Ape films, with Rise and Dawn, I mean, we have got a very focused character study of Caesar. And Matt Reeves has really made a choice in these movies to really focus on that. And that's something that I have wholly appreciated in the last two films. Now, this film, too, I love how this film has been marketed. One thing that I've talked about before is the trailer. I love the trailer in this film, and there's a moment in the trailer where we see that one gorilla that's working with the humans. And I've talked about this before, how this reminds me of slavery. It reminded me of like Django Unchained, where we talked about Stephen, when you have that idea of why would someone work against their own kind when they will never see you as one of them. And I think these are going to be interesting story points to kind of point out in this new film that Matt Reeves is going to explore. And it just it just brings a deeper narrative and a study to this movie that I think is just going to be explored, and it's going to be fascinating to watch this film and to see where this franchise goes from here. I don't know if this is going to be the end, because of course we know he's moving on to do the Batman, which if he brings a lot of those sensibilities that he's done in these 3 Ape movies to the Batman.
2 Ape movies.
Oh, 2. I'm sorry. To the 2 that Matt Reeves has directed. If he brings that to the Batman, just watch out. So yeah, this movie is my most anticipated of the summer, hands down. I cannot wait.
The other aspect that's pretty exciting is that due to the success of the last film, I think we're going to get a very Caesar-centric movie. Rise had a lot of distraction with James Franco, even though not as bad as I had feared.
Yeah.
Jason Clarke is kind of this gateway character for the audience in Dawn that worked okay, but honestly, Andy Serkis, Caesar, wanted more of him in Dawn, and it looks like that's what we're going to get with this third film.
It makes sense, because it doesn't feel like, because in this movie there's no ally for Caesar, because Woody Harrelson is on the other side of the war. So you're right, it seems like it will be more Caesar centric, focused on him, because he doesn't have another ally, a human ally, to kind of play off against him in like those quieter moments that we're not seeing the human side of the war. We're focusing more on the apes.
Yeah. Dawn showed that we don't need to have a human actor involved.
Absolutely.
Get rid of him.
I never even noticed that until you just said that just now.
What's that?
That he is the lead in this film.
Oh, Caesar?
Yeah. I never even noticed that.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, so
all right.
Looking forward.
Lisa.
Yes.
Your number 1 most anticipated film of the summer of 2017.
My number 1 most anticipated film, 2017, came out yesterday.
Yay!
And it is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. It exceeded my wildest dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I wanted to happen happened, and then some. Mm-hmm. Particularly at the end.
No, don't spoil it.
When everybody ripped their clothes off.
No.
Oh. And there was a sausage party style orgy.
Oh.
All of the shapes being made. Human shapes, alien shapes.
What?
Raccoon shapes.
Is this a spoiler for Gamora?
Yeah.
What?
For everybody.
Groot splinters, though. Ow.
Babies are made.
No.
Legacies made.
What?
Mixtapes made.
Yay!
But when you were anticipating it originally,
Oh,
Lisa,
yes.
what was it that drew you to this film above all others?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is my most favorite installment of the Marvel MCU.
Incorrect.
It is correct for me.
No.
It is the perfect magical balance of silliness and action and music and heart, and it's funny. I really like it, and I'm
Captain America's Winter Soldier is all those things.
What?
I can't wait to see how these crazy left field, left universe characters are going to get woven into these extremely like some more grounded than others, but in comparison to Guardians, more grounded, common superheroes. Plus, I love how there is a 20-minute interlude in the middle where Chris Pratt just does 20 minutes of "What's my snack?" and we get to see all of his snacks that he eats. It's the best. I'm glad they're bringing the old intermission back, but still putting some content in there. So yeah, in seriousness, I'm really just looking forward to. I've kept myself from knowing what the tracks are, aside from presumably what's in the trailers of the Mom's second volume of the mixtape. Yeah. I love the fact that even though Star-Lord's mom died within the first 10 minutes of the first film, her character is still unfolding, and she still has this presence in his life, and how pop music just is what gives him energy. It's what gives him focus, and it's propelling him forward to be the person that would make his mom proud. Yeah. This, I'm stoked, and I saw it yesterday, and it was amazing. Yay! And we're not recording this the Sunday before.
All right, Brad, your number one most anticipated film of the summer of 2017.
My number one would have been Guardians of the Galaxy, but having just seen it and now knowing the truth that it is my new Lord and Savior of the MCU, I'm going to choose an independent film instead. I'm finally going a little low budget like Lisa did at the beginning of her list. That's right. And I'm going with the conclusion to what director-writer Taylor Sheridan refers to as his Western trilogy. He is the writer behind Sicario and Hell or High Water, which I loved, as you all know. Yes. And I remember that title because it's so easy to remember. Wind River. We haven't had a trailer for it yet. It comes out on August 4th. Comes out on August 4th.
Oh, 14 days before your birthday.
That's right. Yay. All we know is the IMDb plot synopsis. An FBI agent.
Johnny Utah.
You gotta say that Johnny Utah style. I am an FBI agent. Nope, still can't do it. I keep trying. Teams with the town's veteran game tracker to investigate a murder that occurred on a Native American reservation. And the cast is top-notch. Elizabeth Olsen, your boy, John Barenthal, Jeremy Renner, Graham Greene, and from Hell or High Water, Gil Birmingham. So, this sounds like it's right up my alley. Yeah. FBI agent or not.
Yeah, and you also said this is like a trilogy to those other two movies.
Well, I think it's a thematic conclusion to the world, or at least the themes that he was exploring. It's a thematic conclusion with themes.
I can't think of a better way of celebrating your 47th birthday than watching whatever you said this film was called.
Wind River.
That's right.
All right. My number one most anticipated film of the summer of 2017 is King Arthur.
As, number one?
Yeah.
Number one?
Yeah.
A lot of movies this summer.
There are, but this one to me looks the most unique. It is a retelling of the story of King Arthur, but it's unique in that
it'll actually be entertaining.
Because she's not wrong because of this, and I'm anticipating that it'll actually be entertaining because of the style in which this story is told.
Remember when we were at Comic-Con and we were watching the footage for this, and the coins went back in the bag?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden our hearts were full of joy, and we're like, this is going to be everything that our hearts desired in terms of a King Arthur / Guy Ritchie film.
Yep, I remember that. That's why it's my number one, because of Guy Ritchie, because of, similarly like Edgar Wright, Guy Ritchie has a distinct visual style, specifically also when it comes to editing. And the scene that Lisa's talking about with the coins going back in the bag and them rewinding time is something that Guy Ritchie has done to great effect in some of his other films. Snatch is one of my top 5 films of all time, if not top 10. And
You
so
do like those snatchy roots.
Snatchy roots.
It's my favorite band. And so, yeah, I just can't wait. I love Charlie Hunnam as the character. I just saw him recently in The Lost City of Zed. And the whole time, when I wasn't thinking about Tom Holland as Peter Parker, I was thinking about Charlie as King Arthur. And so I love the casting. I love the fact that they have giant elephants in it. I love the mystical aspect of it and them embracing the fantasy of that. And Charlie Hunnam just makes for a different, just like everything else in the film, because of Guy Ritchie. Charlie Hunnam looks different as King Arthur, but I buy it. I buy that character and him in that role. So I'm just excited. I know Guy Ritchie's going to make a very exciting film. His Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, his Sherlock Holmes films are all exciting and visually stimulating, and that's what I want from a summer film.
I think I've come up with our first album title for the Snatchy Roots.
What is it?
It's going to be Lock, Cock, and Two Smoking Pharrells. I'm pretty proud of myself.
And with that, that's going to do it for our Fistful of Summer Anticipation.
You know what's interesting?
What?
No one mentioned the new Alien film from Ridley Scott.
No. But, okay, so...
Our hearts were broken by Prometheus. There's no going back.
Well, there's that.
You can't save me with big wheat. You're not impressing me with big wheat.
There's that. But
we all love The Martian, though.
Nope.
Wow. But I would have put that, like, if we were doing a top 10, Alien Covenant would have definitely be on my list. But it just didn't. I've never seen a Wonder Woman film before, obviously, live action. I've never seen King Arthur told in this way.
What about Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk, World War II epic?
That's...
looking forward to it, but
I'm
it's
looking
just
forward to seeing it
on my radar right
I wouldn't
now.
want to go see that before I want to see any of these other top 5 films.
What about The Dark Tower? August 4th. We haven't seen a trailer yet.
We're dorks, not nerds.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Ouch.
I'm kind of nerdy, too. I'm smart and nerdy.
I don't have any marketable skills, and I feel bad.
We all agree that Transformers Last Night was our number 6.
Yeah, number 6.
But what about Pirates of the Caribbean? Dead Men Tell No Tales.
That would have been my number 7. Actually, that would have been my number 6. Transformers number 7. I'm looking forward to Pirates. Actually,
I'm not a big fan of Pirates.
Me neither.
No,
Yeah,
I like the first one. The other, what number are we even up to now?
5. This is the 5th one's coming out.
The other ones
5.
just all run together.
They do, yeah. That's how it feels for me. There is a indie film, Patty Cakes, coming out. I think it's counter-programming around the time Spider-Man Homecoming comes out. It's about a New Jersey, a female rapper from New Jersey who's aspiring to be a rapper. And it's been getting a lot of good buzz coming out of Sundance. And I'm kind of excited about that movie.
Ingrid Goes West, speaking of indie, I'm looking forward to that one, if that one's coming out in the summer.
From Neon, yeah, absolutely, it is. And there's a couple from A24 that I'm excited about. Casey Affleck's A Ghost Story with Rooney Mara looks really interesting. And from the horror film side, It Comes at Night.
Yes, so do I. I'm also...
Those statue roots again. Listen to those statue roots.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can follow the podcast at ItModcast on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook. Follow Brian William Young at The Turtle Dork on Twitter. He is at The Turtle Dork 1 on Instagram. And and Wife Dork is at Sidewalk Siren on Instagram and Letterboxd. I'm sorry,
and Twitter.
And Twitter. And
I'm trying to be better about my tweets, but I really need some encouragement. So like my shit.
Yes, please.
Respond back.
Okay.
Follow my band. The Snatchy Roots.
That's got to be a new Twitter handle. You better get that right now, Lisa, before you end up being the Snatchy Roots 1.
Oh no! Only on Instagram.
Brad Gullickson is the Mouth Dork at Mouth Dork on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Letterboxd, and Untapped. And I'm Darren Smith, the Disco Dork, on all social medias. Be on the lookout. May 5th, the month of May, this month, actually. In 2 days, I think, is
Sunday.
Sunday is
May 7th.
Yes, ItMod is partnering up with the Alamo Draft House in Winchester, and we'll be screening films every Sunday of the month. This Sunday, May 7th, is my film. I'll be hosting and screening that film. It is Kung Fu Hustle, directed by Stephen Chow. Tickets are still on sale, so come out, watch the movie, talk Kung Fu Hustle with us, and meet the rest of the podcast, except for Brian. Brian won't be at my screening because he hates me.
No.
And the second Sunday in the month,
It's my birthday and I'll be out of town.
May 14th.
It's your birthday.
Well, my birthday weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
I only celebrate real birthdays.
Wow. The second Sunday of the month, May 14th, is Head. And Lisa, of course, obviously, will be hosting that screening.
That's right. And I will be bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, she may be a little excited. And then the third Sunday of the month, we have Mouthworks hosting Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. And the final Sunday of the month, I'll be out of town, but Brian will be there hosting on the 28th, The Gray, the Joe Carnahan film, one of his favorite films of all time.
Yes.
All right.
I hear he's bringing live wolves.
Yes. Are you doing that in snow?
I'm trying.
Gangrene for everyone.
Yay. All right.
I'm working with a couple of wolf wranglers.
Yeah.
And gonna try
As
to
long
make
as
this.
Frank Grillo comes so I can wrestle him.
I mean, we're not far from the Shenandoah, so I can go out into those woods and I can try to, bring in some.
Wrangle up some Grillos.
There you go.
All right. That's going to do
Watch
it.
out,
for us.
Andy.
Thank you all for listening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go out and see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 multiple times. Support that film. Push it over $1 billion to give Marvel and Disney some more money. Because, of course, why not? But whatever you do, just have fun and be
Sit
safe.
in the second row, guys.
Yes.
Say hi to us.
Yes, please.
Sit next to us.
But don't touch me.
You can touch me.
I'm gonna be like Doug Benson. I'm like, sorry, I need a comfort seat in between you and me and the person.
Aw. Well, you can sit next to me on my lap. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all for listening. And until next time.